I want to speak a little bit about TEVES, which is what today is. So the embassy that TEVES, it's not such a simple yontif on many levels. A sefer here, a sefer there. The Jewish world wasn't poorer if the sefer was in the library, not in the library. They were talking about old manuscripts that he took that are printed and available. So what's the problem? And furthermore, he's a grandchild. No, he was falling on hard times. It's a grandchild of the Frierdiker Rebbe. So he took a few books and sold them. The fact is that the pain, we never saw anything close to the pain that the Rebbe experienced over this. And the simcha, by Chassidim at least, was unparalleled in the history of the Dor HaShvi. I don't know what it looked, we do know a bit what it looked like, Yitzhak Kislev, the original Yitzhak Kislev. They were cartwheeling in the street. It was similar to that. It was 7 days of celebration. The Rebbe established it as a yontif. This is not. The Rebbe established TEVES as a yontif, a Yom Sekula. We saw by the Rebbe that after TEVES, the days that followed Thursday night, and he went to the oil then, he went to the oil every day, but he announced that it was, everybody should send their panim, and he said, I'm not going to read it, and therefore don't be ashamed and write anything and everything you want. And I remember it was Shalmadi then, the fax machines, he was sending thousands from all over the world. They set up in Borough Park, they set up tables in the street and people were coming over and giving the names. I don't know how many thousands, tens of thousands of Tzetlach came. It was his chachas of the Nesius, the whole renewal of the Nesius. So what's the Nekuda? It would seem as follows. The Yom Tovim that we have post Torah are Purim, Chanukah, and then Yutis Kislev and TEVES. One of the big tiniest that the Misnagdim had was this is after Yutis Kislev. The Mishnah says in the Rosh Hashanah there's 4 Rosh Hashanahs, and the Chassidim came along. They made a 5th Rosh Hashanah. Rosh Hashanah Chassidus Yutis Kislev. I don't remember now who it was. One of the Gedolim Misnagdim said, yeah. By them it grows, and by us it decreases. So Rosh Hashanah with the Yom Tov was Yutis Kislev, and then came TEVES. So finally Yom Tov before Golus. If you look at the pattern, you can see Purim, the Gzeira was Haman, and on the Jewish body, physical body. Chanukah, the Gzeira was on the Neshama. And the truth is, if you probe deep in the story of Chanukah, the real battle was not with the Greeks. The real battle was with the Misyavanim, the vast majority of Jews that had adopted the Greek culture, called Hellenists. That was the real struggle. The Machashmonaim were a minority and considered by most Jews to be a nuisance and a cause of anti-Semitism, fanatics. What's the problem? We're just modernizing and advancing into the new world. So it came from, first of all, so it's a ruchnik spiritual battle, and to a degree, in the end, it was a battle against the Greeks. But it was really Jew. Yitzhak Kislev was not only Jew, but from Jews, Torah Jews. It's getting closer and closer to home. And TEVES, which was the big pain of it, it wasn't only from Jews, not only Chassidim. Natabed in between had his Agmas Nefesh intentions with his fellow Rebbe's Chassidic leaders, both in the spreading of Chassidus, and they wanted to take much stronger measures against the Misnagdim. Rebbe wouldn't go along with it. And so what I'm pointing to is that the battles are getting closer and closer to home. In TEVES, it's not only Chassid, it's much of the child, grandchild. So what is the just tracing it. Purim, the Guf, it is kissed Chanukah, the Neshama, it is kissed the Pnimis HaNeshama, Pnimis HaTorah. And what's TEVES? TEVES is on the Etzem HaNeshama. Was a Milcham on the Etzem HaNeshama. And basically saying, what did he say? He said, my Zayda was a great man, he was a Rebbe, but first and foremost, he was a Zayda, he was a private individual. And he was also, and had occupied most of his life, a servant of the community. But first and foremost, like everybody is first and foremost an individual. They're also part of Klal Yisrael. And as an individual, I'm entitled, not the whole library, a few books, the rest keep. What was the answer in the end? The answer, what was the whole victory? And sorry, Shmuley, just pick up the phone and hit number 6. What was the whole victory? And in the court of law, we daven downstairs. You're welcome to sit here. In a court of law, the judge ruled, and then was the Rebbetzin statement was the salient statement. The Rebbetzin, they came to the house, and the defendants and the prosecution and the defense, and for hours she was grilled. It's on video. I think I told you for many years I couldn't watch it, and then I watched it a bit, and it was difficult to watch. So the prosecutor asked point blank to who did hit number 6. You sit there, it'll be easier because I don't know what's today. There's a shiva that people are coming. The prosecution asked, to whom do the books belong? To your father or to Agudah Tzedek Chabad, which represents the Jewish people, the Klal Yisrael? And she famously answered, not only the books belong to the community, my father belonged to the community. And this was cited by the Judge Sifton, in his ruling, meaning that a secular court of law rules that that Yidden are one. They're unique. They're one. And where's this oneness embodied? In the Nasi. So his book, he's Reb Yisrael, but he's separate from Klal Yisrael. And a sefer belongs to every Yid. That's what the ruling is saying. And that's unique. This is Bemes, the Rebbe's Chiddush. In Gilui Achsidus, a dominant theme that the Rebbe's Megala is that the whole purpose of Torah Mitzvahs is to reveal the Neshama. The whole Kavanah is the Neshama. As we talked about many times, it's not do mitzvahs to become, you do mitzvahs to reveal. The purpose of Direi B'Tachtonim is not the Tachton, it's not the world itself. Hashem doesn't give two hoots about the world. It's Ein Ve'efes. We're downstairs. We're Ein Ve'efes. What's Direi B'Tachtonim? Like, what's a house? A house is a place where you live with your family, soulmates. What's the saddest place in the world? Is a house where a broken home. The physical house is there, everything is, but if, God forbid, they break apart, there's nothing more painful than that. You can't go back there. Difficult to go back there. Somebody dies, or God forbid, or divorce. Or the whole purpose of the house is, David says, I want to be one with you. That's the point of the It's you, not the house. How do I become one with you? The Neshama comes down here, and builds the home to the mitzvahs, Mesiras Nefesh and Shuv, and all of the avoid this is Skafi and is Habche. What's the end? The end is you and I are one. That's what I want. This is a dominant theme in the Rebbe's. Now, Rebbe in Tanya, Perek Lamed Vav quote from the Eitz Chaim, where it says there, Neshama Atzim in the Tzichatik, and Neshama doesn't need to be fixed. What does it come down here? For the purpose is to make this, the Mevada, the Guf Nefesh Abamis and Chelka Ba'olam. So the Rebbe says, yes, it doesn't need to be fixed. It's not a question of being fixed. That's the shlichus. The shlichus is go down and make a dirib tachtonim. And then what? Then you and I are going to be one. The kavan is you, not fix you. And Neshama L'mayla doesn't got to be fixed, but we're not one in the deepest way. And this one is, that's all about the tetzaveh. This one that should pervade every expression of your life, and the whole world should sparkle and reflect it. That's what the dira means. A home is that every detail in the home, it bespeaks of the people that live there, the soulmates that are there. It's really her. She embraces everybody. She's the nest. She's the Knesset Yisrael of the home, the mother, the wife. But everybody's reflected there. Your room, especially the room of the children, it's going to reflect the child. The world reflects Neshamas Yisrael as they one with the Eibishter. So to rephrase that, the Kavana Pnimius that the Rebbe reveals, and all of these layers pulled back on the Eibishter before Mashiach comes is, to state it in simple words, that there should be revealed down here in the Guf Lamata, as we are all in the individual bodies, that all Yidden are one with each other and one with the Eibishter, and the whole world reflects that, and it's part of that. Ein oid milvadoin, the Neshama is mushish, rooted in Atzmos. It's not a creation. Its source is rooted in Atzmos, and that should pervade the created components of the Neshama, the eye of the Neshama, the body, the whole world. And the whole world reflects this unity and is one with it. Bemis is the first one. It's the first words of Rashi. Beis Reishis B'Shvil Yisrael, B'Shvil HaTorah, B'Shvil Yisrael. But the Rebbe says it's not two things. Torah is a means for Yisrael. It's Yisrael. And that's the whole Nechama here. Are Yidden really one? Oh, it's a tribal affiliation. It's a common faith. We're connected very deeply, but at the end of the day, like every other creation, you're a nivra. And the creation means distinct and separate. Or no, the Neshamas Yisrael are not part of creation where it's distinct and separate, but it's absolutely one. Hanasi hu hakoil, embodied in the Nasi. That's what Mashiach is all about. So a court of law paskins that here is a Yid and he has a book that belongs to all Klal Yisrael. Why? Because the Yid know one. You know other people like it, that they're one. They're close, they share a faith. Other faiths, if you don't believe in the tenets of the faith, you're out, and that's it. Goodbye. No longer a Christian, no longer a Muslim. Finished. The Jews are crazy. You don't believe, he doesn't care, he's a pope. You're a Yid, you're my brother, we're one. What is this? What do you share? Nothing in common. It's because on a cellular level, you don't share in common, you are one. That's TEVES. And it's in a court of law that this is ruled. Not only do the books belong to the Chassidim. She said, my father belonged to the Chassidim. Yep. Now, I just want to tell you, the Rebbe's joy in TEVES was not like, very, very serious, it was painful, very painful truth. And he refused that it should become, when the Svarim came back, they wanted the world pressure be there, Nachopen, it didn't allow it. Luchashniyas, sit and learn. It was a lot of, you know what happened when the Svarim came back and the people, the boys were on the street. Thank God I was in Sim 70, didn't see it. Never before did he see such anguish. What do you do? Screaming. Sit and learn. This is how you celebrate. Because it's painful. It's painful. It's coming from, it's at the deepest operation of the neshama, and it's coming from a grandchild, and it's all of these complexities. It's the deepest place, and then it's passing in a court of law. They're not easy victories. Not easy victories. But it seems, this is why TEVES is the last Yom Tov before Mashiach comes. In summary, again, it's the celebration in the world acknowledges the Neshamas Yisrael are one. That's the Nekudah. How does it translate? In learning and expressing it, and so on. So, by Svarim, celebrate with Yom Tov, and maybe be reunited with our Rebbe and all our loved ones here in this world without delay.
Write upon. Make sure to write. It's a special day. People should perhaps write upon.
Yeah, it was Thursday. It was Zion TEVES. It doesn't matter. Write upon today for sure. For sure, write upon today. was still right. Hey, TEVES was Tuesday, correct?
Yes.
We went to the oil Thursday night. That's when he said. That's when he said they should. It doesn't matter. It's a whole week. It's a whole week of celebration. Right, connect. Okay, dear friends. Oh, good Yom Tov and Siras TEVES.
Shkoyach.